Defensive coordinator Chad Scott. Questions for Coach Scott? Greg?
Chad, Neil was just saying, sort of up and down this past Saturday offensively. You did some things very well, some things like to have done better. I guess it's every game. But what do you need to do this week?
We need to be pass the ball, and we need to pass the ball. I thought the receivers did a good job getting up. We got to trigger the ball at the quarterback and be able to pass the ball. And you got to not have as many. We gave up too many tackles for losses. I say tackle for loss. We gave up too many negative plays, whether that be a tackle for loss or a sack. So those would be two things we gotta get corrected this week. We got to be able to trigger the ball when we need to in the pass game, and then we got to eliminate all the negative plays.
CFLs have been a big problem this year for the most part.
Yeah.
Anything in particular that
I
caused that?
thought they did a pretty good job of mixing up the twist up front and, us trying to send some junk pressure. We saw a lot of pressure from the edge that we hadn't seen throughout the game plan, and so they had some good answers to stop some of the things we were trying to do in the motion game to split the defense. So they had some good answers for it. So some of the stuff we got to calm down a little bit and just line up and play ball.
What are some of the things specifically that Texas Tech presents difficulties with defensively?
I think they'll mimic a little bit of what Arizona did and what UCF did. I thought those two teams had good plans for us in regards to muddying up the front, confusing the offensive line scheme, and trying to take away lanes for the backs. And those are things we don't see that on film. On film, we see what we've always seen with all these teams. It looks like it's going to be a normal base defense. They're going to be gap sound and be what we see on film, and then they come out on Saturdays and look totally different than what we've seen. So I think we'll get some of that. So at this point, we've seen it a couple times now. So we're going to be, not to say do a lot, but we're going to be kind of simple in what we do, and so we can practice all the various looks so we can be prepared for the jump.
Theme of a feature I'm doing. Favorite Thanksgiving memory, favorite Thanksgiving food.
Favorite Thanksgiving food, macaroni and cheese by far. Hands down, no questions asked. That's without doubt. Memory? I don't know. It's a lot of memories. It's a lot of great memories. I mean, we've always played on Thanksgiving. I want to say last year's Baylor game was Thanksgiving. I believe so, yeah. So that's a phenomenal memory right there. It was 8th win. Jaheim White, as a true freshman, had a walk-off touchdown pass from Garrett Green so that'd be for the 8th win of the season. So that'd be a great memory right there, most recent memory.
Mac and cheese. That for your mom's or
No, that's my own recipe right there. I got my own little personal recipe. Recipe. I'm actually gonna do that for the running backs this week. We're gonna on Wednesday we're having a pre-Thanksgiving meal. Get them 2 days to kind of walk it off before we play. So that's why we're going a day early.
The secret recipe?
Secret recipe. Yeah.
It's not out of a box with.
Not out of the box. Not at all.
No,
Not at all.
that's correct, man.
That's not even out of mom or grandma's cabinet either. That's my own little deal.
You guys have done so much motion. This is the first season I've been covering you. It's just so much motion. I know it's to just, like you said, the defensive line, they're trying to do it to muddy up and confuse the offensive line. You're trying to do the same thing. How effective do you feel that's been with all of that movement?
I feel like it's really effective. I really do because, a lot of times defense, particularly when they're simple in what they do, they can recognize formations, they can recognize receiver splits and be able to tell based off tendency and how much we've done certain things out of certain formations what's possible to come. But when you line up in, different formations, whether it be an unbalanced check, could be different three backs in the backfield, you line up in different things that they have checks to, and then you shift out of that. It forces them to communicate. Now when they start having to communicate and relay that communication across the board, they're not ready to go on the snap of the ball, pin them down, and go attack the ball. And so that allows us to get an extra hand. Could be a numbers game. Could be the fact that they're not ready, and it gives us an advantage. Could be what you guys saw last week. We did a phenomenal job last week not having any penalties because 3 offsides with the motion and whatnot. So it gives us an advantage. And I think an easy answer for it is for teams to just say, screw it. Just when you see the motion, just add on and blitz, and hopefully you can disrupt it or hit home. Hit home meaning affect the quarterback in some way, rush him out of the pocket, hurry his decision-making before they can execute the play. And so that's why we want to be a little bit more simple in what we're doing so we can work those various looks. But I think it has been very effective. And our guys like it. They like it. It's fun. it creates a lot of confusion for them, creates a lot of space for guys to run the football, and creates a lot of coverage breakdown in the back end. That's why we got to be able to trigger the ball, because we've had a lot of coverage busts because of it. We just got to be able to trigger the ball.
Yeah, 'cause it just seems like this game is so hinged upon just seconds or half seconds, and stuff like that gives you that half second, that
Exactly.
second, just to give them
Right.
that inch or that yard
Exactly.
to get open.
Right, exactly. And like I say, and it's fun. We can kind of dictate at the tempo in which we play, which is really good, and it's been really good in the tempo in which we played, and we kind of dictate whether or not we want to play fast or slow. And then honestly, Garrett Green, it suits him. It gives him the best chance for us to go out and be successful with him leading us too.
How would you evaluate the wide receivers right now? Hudson stepping up. In the last couple weeks, there's been a little bit more drops than there have kind of been all year. That was a problem more last year.
No, not really. I think we've done a better job creating space, when it's been man coverage. We just got to be able to trigger the ball when they're open. And they made some timely catches, like the Rodney Gallagher catch. What a phenomenal catch right there. And then, the Hudson Clement catch to ice it in the end. Like three, speaking specifically, Rodney Gallagher catch, phenomenal catch. Man, that's a tough catch to make. He made that. The Justin Robinson catch on the 4th and 3, that's a critical catch that a week ago, that same play. He dropped that same play on the 4th down. So to see him come back and execute that was huge. And then obviously the play that I felt like iced it in the end, the catch by Hudson Clement. That was a ball that's thrown outside his framework. So I don't really think it's just that they hadn't had many catches. It's just been that some of the catches they might have dropped has come at crucial times, so that obviously sticks out a lot more. So it's easy. So it's great for them to come back a week later and make those same catches in a crucial situation. So it kind of.
I'd imagine your mentality also is, though, going into this Texas Tech game, knowing the offense they're bringing to the table, that's the one game you got to have as little drops as
no doubt.
possible.
Absolutely.
Like
And then,
the receivers and quarterback going to be a big deal.
absolutely, it's going to be huge. And we got to do what we did this week. And what I mean by that, like we did a phenomenal job. We were 100% on 4th downs. And we weren't as good on 3rd downs. We were really good in the first half. Weren't as good, as a whole. But we're 100% on 4th down, and what that does, it wears down defenses, extends plays, and we did a phenomenal job. We controlled the possession of the game, the entire game. We controlled the possession of the game every quarter. So if we can be better on 3rd downs and continue to be better, continue to do what we did last week, which is sustain the change movement on 4th down and extend plays, that's going to be huge for us. So that'll be the emphasis this week. And like I say, the receivers, I thought they did a good job last week getting open. We just got to be able to trigger the ball.
Trigger the ball. Is that a matter of trusting the
just let it go, man.
receivers, or what? I mean, what goes into that?
Well, those guys with all the twisting and the different movement they did to create a couple of negative plays. Sometimes in the pass game, you get all that twisting and you just see different colored jerseys just crossing your face. But we're doing a great job covering it up. So Gigi got to do a great job just keeping his eyes downfield, trusting and protection in front that we'll pick it up and letting it go.
Chad, what's the next step that Clement has to take to become an elite receiver? And can you picture the day when he's catching 60, 70 balls?
I really can. He's done a phenomenal job in all season taking care of his body. He's been, for the most part, healthy. Missed a couple, I think, a game or so. The next step, I say the next step for him would be to, when he gets to a point where he does a phenomenal job catching, making tough catches, contested catches. And he's done this in the past where he's done a phenomenal job taking some of those catches and making a guy miss and going the distance. Had a couple of them last year. So for me, I think the next step would be for him when he's able to, make those catches and turn those, 16, 17-yard catches from 16, 17 yards to the big 40, 50-yard touchdown.
Not your fastest receiver, but I mean, how fast is he?
He's actually he runs really well. It's late in the season. He's a bigger guy. He's added some weight to him, so that may impact a little bit how he plays and how fresh he is at this point. But he can run pretty good. We just got to be able to hit him in stride, keep him on the move. I would say that'd be the biggest thing. We just got to do a great job hitting him in stride while he's still running, so he continue to keep his speed and go the distance.
Traylon Davis does the dirty work, obviously, we talked about it, and then you dial one up and he drops it.
Man, I tell you what, first of all, no one more hurt than Traylon Davis. Trust me.
That's the drop to remember.
Yeah, there ain't no doubt. It was funny because on the headset, he said, "Man, Coach Brown, it's the touchdown here. You don't need to call an extra play because he's gonna score this right here." I just knew he was gonna be wide open. He was, and he dropped it. It's unfortunate. We'll find another way to get him the ball, but nobody's more hurt than him. I wish we could have put it on a little better, a little cleaner. He ain't used to catching the ball like that, so that's the ball that Cole Taylor catches all day long, but a little bit outside of Traylon's framework.
For a couple of years now, he's talked about how he's okay not being the pass catching option, but does anyone need to have a conversation with him now to keep his spirits up? Because that's pretty
Oh, no,
demanding.
he's good. He's good. He's good. And his teammates did a phenomenal job going to pat him on the back because they didn't, it wasn't a deal. You look at it sometimes, a guy like that blocks and he gets the opportunity, drops the ball. In some cases, you might think guys will laugh, but they understand how important that is to him and what it meant to him. So those guys immediately rallied to him and put their arm around, pat him on the back, told him the next opportunity come, you'll get it. And I thought that was awesome. So he responded.
Okay, anything else for Coach Scott?
Yep. Thank you all. Happy Thanksgiving to you all.